President Barack Obama once said, "You can judge a nation and how successful it will be based on how it treats its women and its girls." I wonder what he'd say about the Indian film industry in the same regard. Welcome to another episode of SpotboyE podcast. Women in the film industry. That's what is in focus. Usually तो हमारे यहाँ पे बड़ा ही अजीब सा मिक्स होता है. कई बार 4 में से 3 पैनलिस्ट मेल होते हैं. But this time we made that much needed correction. मेरा नाम मनीष है. मेरे साथ विकी लालवानी तो हमेशा की तरह है ही. But we've got 50-50 participation. 2 males और 2 females. Yay! We're joined by Prajakta Asgaonkar and Oshin Kaul all the way from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, really powerful and to exhibit woman power.
Absolutely. So 2 men and 2 women on this podcast. We're talking about women and their influence in the Hindi film industry over the years. And I'm not going to start with Vicky. Seniority doesn't matter. This time it's about the women and their voice and what they feel. Do I go to Prajakta? Do I go to Oshin Rajkol? I'm going to go with the SpotboyE seasoned panelist. Prajakta, what do you make of the impact that women are having these days in Hindi cinema as filmmakers, as directors, producers, writers, lyricists, musicians, whatever?
Okay, so I think earlier, it was all about the industry is male dominated to a large extent. I think everybody knows it, and it still continues to remain the same. But since the past 5 or 6 years, I think there's a considerable amount of change that we can see in terms of women filmmakers are leading the ropes. If you see, be it Meghna Gulzar, even a Nandita Das, Konkona Sen Sharma, Gauri Shinde, we have so many women filmmakers, and all of them are doing some incredible work. Even actresses are, giving the superstars, the Khans, a run for their money. So I think times have changed, but I still think there's a long way to go. So women women are getting their due in the industry, but I think there's still a long way to go. That's
right.
what I feel.
Oshin, क्या लगता है आपको? क्या आपको लगता है कि औरतों का जो इम्पैक्ट है उसको जितनी क्रेडिट मिलनी चाहिए मिल रही है? उनका इम्पैक्ट क्या बढ़ रहा है या कम हो रहा है? क्या देर हो चुके हैं? What's your general feeling about women and their influence in the industry?
औरतों को जितनी क्रेडिट मिलना चाहिए आई डोंट थिंक उतना मिल रहा है. इससे ज़्यादा ऑफ कोर्स मिल सकता है, बट द थिंग इज़ कि हाँ, इम्पैक्ट बहुत पड़ रहा है. अभी वो जिस तरीके से फिल्म्स आ रही हैं, चाहे राजी हो गई या मेघना गुलजार उसको डायरेक्ट कर रही हैं, या ऐसे सिंगर्स हो गए या म्यूजिशियंस हो गए, या कोई भी किसी भी तरीका आर्टिस्ट कुछ भी कर रहा है, तो वो काफ़ी डिफरेंस हम लोग देख सकते हैं. वो चीज़ें हमको नज़र आ रही हैं काफ़ी इजीली. तो द डिफरेंस इज बट स्टिल ऑफ कोर्स लाइक प्राजक्ता सेड, देयर इज अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो. लाइक वी आर स्टिल लाइक far behind from the place where we have to reach. So right. Of course, yeah.
So there's something that people often talk about कि अच्छा women don't get paid as much. I'm going to come to that a little later. But Vicky, there was a time जब great Kalpana Lajmi was one name, दीपा मेहता, मीरा नायर, ये 2-3 नाम थे जिनका जिक्र अक्सर होता था. Today you see a lot of top filmmakers are women. There's a Zoya Akhtar who's delivered a Gully Boy. There's Farah Khan who's done lots of blockbusters. Good Bad Films is another story. Gauri Shinde who's given us English Winglish. Alankrita Srivastav, Kiran Rao, Reema Kakti, ऐसे लोग हैं. Is there not a definite change in the impact that women are able to have on big hits in the industry, or them being able to get big projects?
Yeah, there is definitely a shift. I mean, even Ashwini Iyer for that matter. So, I mean, those days are gone when, Kalpana Lajmi struggled to get, actresses on board, and she had categorically gone on record to say that
right.
So many actresses have refused me. Even Aruna Raje, who has now come up with this web show.
Right.
So they have obviously struggled a lot. Even I remember, if you take Farah Khan, the day that Akshay Kumar film flopped, which
Joker.
he made with
Tismar Khan. Sorry. Yeah.
And after that, it's not been very easy for her. Right. I mean, if she will start with 2 Shah Rukh Khan films back to back,
right,
and then I'm not saying she's lost her way, but I'm sure she's having a few problems which she's not been able to overcome and put this version on celluloid.
Which is that one woman who brought about a massive shift? Was it Ekta Kapoor in television that brought that respect? Was it Farah Khan by giving 2 blockbusters? Who do you think is that one woman? Of course, there were people like Meera Nair and Deepa Mehta who tried to do big films, impactful films. she did Water and such films. Namesake happened as well. But आपके हिसाब से कौन सी वो एक औरत है जिनकी वजह से रिस्पेक्टेबिलिटी ज़्यादा बढ़ी है या लोगों ने औरतों को जस्टिफाइबली और सीरियसली लेना शुरू किया?
I don't think there can be just one woman that we can pick. I mean, all of them have contributed in their own way. Be it a Gauri Shinde, be it a Zoya Akhtar, or be it a Meghna Gulzar. All of them have their strengths and they have played to it very well. So for me, it's not right to pick just one name and say that this is the woman who brought about a change. All of them have contributed in equal measures.
Osheen, who do you think has had most impact for you personally? एक ऐसी कोई भी एक फिल्म मेकर औरत जिनका इम्पैक्ट आप पर खुद पर रहा हो कि अरे यार कर रही है तो यार क्या बात है?
Meghna Gulzar and Zoya Akhtar, for sure. In the recent films, if you would see, like Razi, like it leaves an impact on your mind. You come with a vision. Okay, what a film.
Right.
And same goes for Gully Boy also. So वो चीज़ रह जाती है. तो recent की अगर बात करें तो recent में ये फिल्म है. तो ऐसी पुरानी बहुत फिल्म्स हैं जो तुम्हारे दिमाग पे एक छाप छोड़ जाती हैं. तो फिर तुमको एकदम से याद आता है कि okay, this film has been directed by a female director, a woman. English for that matter.
Gauri Shinde.
Yeah, of course. So yeah.
Vicky, people like Kalpana Lajmi and Deepa Mehta 20 years ago, or Meera Nair decade plus ago, didn't have the advantage of social media. Now people know who Gauri Shinde is, people know who Zoya Akhtar is, there's more media spotlight on them. Do you think social media, the advent of social media has also helped the cause for women?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yes. No doubt. But I think they've made good films also. See, earlier what was happening was, if Kalpana Lajmi, I'm not saying she made bad films, she's a National Award filmmaker.
Right.
But they made films for a restricted audience. Like if you bring down to Farah Khan, or if you bring down to Zoya Akhtar, you know, the multi-starers, and they've catered to a larger audience. They've mixed up the way Kalpana used to make, the way Deepa Nair or Deepa Mehta or Meera Nair makes the movies. They make it, some of the movies are not even released, and they've been giving long interviews about it.
Right.
You know, some of them don't release in India. So they never reach the people, you know. So I mean, this is not a
criticism.
This is not a criticism, but like a friend of mine and his mother told me that when I was in Mumbai Mirror, why do you write so much about Meera Nair in Mumbai Mirror? I don't know which film she has made. No, that took me by surprise, but that's how the Aam Janta is. So if you don't reach out to them, you don't reach out to them.
Who do you think women, like young women, say 12, 13, 15, 18-year-olds, who perhaps want to go on to become filmmakers, who do you think they admire the most among the women filmmakers in the country? Is it Ekta Kapoor, because of the fact that she's, in a sense, you know, single-handedly created an empire? You know, she started out with what, Hum Paanch, if I remember correctly, and today she's a, you know, $1 billion plus. I think that's the kind of valuation she has for Balaji. She's now launched All Balaji. She's pretty much been headlining the business. Is it Ekta Kapoor that young women look up to, saying, you know what, agar ye kar rahi hai, mujhe bhi kabhi na kabhi aisa kuch karna hai? Is it her?
I guess so. I think these girls will be able to answer that, because for me, yes, she's definitely somebody who has done so much for the television industry, and then did some very good movies also. And I think she is really somebody who people look up to when she enters on the stage, enters an auditorium, gives a speech.
Yeah.
So
she's the boss lady.
Yeah, and she reached the masses with her television shows. So that's what I was earlier also saying. Until you reach the audience, you know, you end up making films. I guess the same is the case. I remember with the male filmmaker Anurag Kashyap. Like, I remember meeting him at a no smoking press screening, and I told him that I'm not understanding the movie, because I was not understanding it. And he said, I have not made it for anybody. I made it for. So I was wondering, who has he made it for? So if you're making it for yourself, or if you're making it only for those 10 or 8 people, you know, who share your idea, then obviously you don't reach out to the people.
Right.
And that is where I think the earlier women filmmakers had a slow start, or had their, and perhaps also the times have changed. You see, you know, today in the office I see more females than males.
Yes.
And this is not only for SpotboyE, but it is the same, I think, in Mirror also. When I was working there, I was working in Midday earlier. So the number has been, you know, almost equal, or perhaps outweighed the males. And I don't know. So and they are very efficient with the people whom I have worked, most of them. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a positive sign in every sphere.
Most impactful woman for you in the industry,
I
Prajakta?
think I completely agree with what Vicky sir said.
Huh.
Ekta Kapoor, she's been a role model and an inspiration. She started the whole trend of, television soaps, dramas, and she brought the masses together. And then she moved into films. Then she even explored the web space. So whatever she's been doing it really well. And I think the young generation, they would want to, मुझे भी एक दिन ऐसे एकता कपूर की जगह पे पहुंचना है. That kind of a thing is something that even the young generation will relate to.
I am hugely impressed by Kanika Dhillon, the writer and the creative producer of Man Marziya. Not because she's pretty, but because I think she's written a phenomenal film in Man Marziya. I've seen a couple of her interviews as well, and she's extremely clear-headed, extremely sure of what she's saying. Is she someone who's also impressed you a lot, Vicky?
Yeah, she really. I mean, I think she was at Man Marziya. Writer.
She's written and creative producer.
So this guy introduced me to her. I remember Anurag Kashyap at the party, and Abhishek Bachchan was also there. So, too much of clarity in her head.
Nice.
Too much of clarity. I've seldom seen such clarity because I've interacted with people, and because everything at the end of the day, the film also is all on writing. Then comes your direction, and then come the stars.
So these are
people who are making a large difference. I mean, when I was growing up, there was only one woman in front of me, and that was Indira Gandhi. That we had this whole, we used to idolize her, and the Iron Lady, and she was called the mother of the nation because we didn't have anybody around. I mean, even in offices and all, my mother was a working lady, and the ratio was very small. It
also depends on how the men around look at them. I mean, a woman's success is not dependent on the man. They're good enough in their own way.
Yes.
But it would most certainly help for a man to not be biased towards one gender. Like for instance, Kanika Dhillon, she's thanked producer Anand L. Rai for ensuring that she gets creative producer credit for the film, because she said, I gave the film everything I could, and in return I wanted that credit. So credit to men as well, a lot of them, not all. I know a lot of them are not open. Vicky would have an insider's view on how powerful men in the industry look at women. Do you think that needs a little more of a change?
Of course it does, because if you see the Me Too campaign recently, what does it tell you? It tells you that the men have become not become insecure, they were insecure pehle se hi. It's because Me Too is not about, it's simply about, power. It's not about some enjoyment or something. It's all about power. So yeah, I mean that tells you that how, and I guess it is. I don't think it has stopped even now. These some 8 or 10 cases which you heard are sprung up from nowhere, and I think usual suspects, the names which came out, we knew 80% of them. So still I bet it's going on, and that just shows that man wants to put her down. Whether it's anybody, that I am bigger than you, I am bigger than you. And that is exactly why it's still a male-dominated industry, which we discussed in the earlier podcast in Alia Bhatt when we were discussing. Why is it a male-dominated industry? Why? Because you projected the male right from the days of, whether it's your Amitabh Bachchan, whether it's your Dharmendra, he was projected more than your heroine.
80s I thought was the era of action films where unfortunately the heroine was just for decoration. She didn't have much to do, unfortunately, which is so sad.
It was believed that only a male actor can pull the audience to the theaters.
Correct.
And a female actor, she's just confined to be the love angle or just play the romantic lead opposite the male actor.
And 90s and also, especially also, if you see, they were all for songs only, for doing those PT drills with heroes.
PT drills.
Yeah, those dances were all PT drills, So I guess the times are changing, of course, and I mean heroines like Deepika,
it's
Anushka, Vidya Balan. I think she started it in a large way in the mainstream.
Also important to note that the women who are commissioning these films are also in powerful positions. There is Sneha Rajani, who heads Sony's movie business. There's Jyoti Deshpande, who is a very senior resource at Geo Studios. So when women are in a position to make a difference, they will in turn also end up being fair to the right talent.
Yes.
Today, Juhi Chaturvedi will write a Piku. It doesn't have to be another superstar writer who's come with 50 films.
Right.
Today, Kanika Dhillon will write an Anurag Kashyap film, right? So I think it's also important that women not just as film producers or directors or writers, but also in corporate cabins. And I think they've also managed to make a certain change. Vicky?
They have, I think, but you know, in the industry also, if you sit with women, they gossip more about their counterparts.
Is it true?
Yeah. If you sit with men, they will not, A hero will not run down the B hero. It happens with, and I think it's happening in corporates also. So this also has to stop. If the woman has to go further,
And
there
help
is
each
one woman always in front of her who is stopping her progress. You know, unless that particular barrier gets
But
dissolved
I
or maybe reduces.
I don't think so. That is there.
Yeah, it's not a gender specific thing.
Yeah,
People do
that
such
is-
shit.
Yeah,
It's
of
not
course.
only women doing it, frankly.
See, and that is the good thing. If you look up to somebody, be it a male or a female, a woman, if she is successful, you look up to her, that's a
Right.
good thing. But at the same time, if you think I deserve more than her, then it's a different
Sure.
thing. Then of course you will talk about her, you will talk
Yeah.
good or bad about
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
So of course there's a difference in both the ways.
अच्छा आप लोग
But you stop looking at her, no? Once she starts acting as a warrior, you stop looking at her fondly. My point is that.
Maybe
Yeah.
we
See,
can
initially
look at-
that A heroine who is stopping the B heroine in some way because she's more powerful and more influential, she can go to the other hero and say, यार इसको मत लेना, मेरे को ही लेना.
Yeah.
Or even in a corporate, wherever.
हाँ.
So that person initially is the idol, yes. But sooner or later, when that other talented heroine who's perhaps a little smaller in stature, because she's new or she's done 5 films and the other one has done 20, comes to know, then obviously she's going to lose that respect and for that idol.
That
I
is
think-
there in the industry, of course.
Of course,
I
it
think
is.
अच्छा,
that happens
ऐसे
It
कौन
is
से
there in
issues-
every industry. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
saying.
I think it's
ऐसे
everywhere.
कौन से
even in
issues हैं जो
offices.
आप दोनों ने फेस किए personally? Being in this space, in the media, have you faced issues because of the fact that you are women? And is there something that you want to highlight here so that this podcast reaching out to whatever number of people, at least this issue will reach them saying, you know what, ये नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा कोई issue रहा है? Gender related issue?
Gender related issue at the workspace, you mean?
In life, in the industry, when you are entering, when you are here battling, it's a fiercely competitive space that you're in. It's not easy for women or men.
Right.
क्या आपको लगता है कि ऐसे कोई hurdles आपके सामने आए जो नहीं आने चाहिए? Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you have to go through, you know, these loops to succeed in life. Ever?
ऑफ कोर्स हर्डल्स तो आती हैं जेंडर की वजह से बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स होती है आई वुड से कि वंस आई हैड जस्ट कंप्लीटेड माय ग्रेजुएशन दैन आई वाज लुकिंग आउट फॉर जॉब एंड आई वांटेड टू गेट इनटू मार्केटिंग आई डोंट नो व्हाई बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू गेट इनटू मार्केटिंग सो दे वर लाइक कि लड़की है देखो देर तक होना पड़ता है तो तुम कहाँ करोगी 7-8 बजे तो तुमको घर जाना होगा आई एम लाइक if I know what kind of a job it is, what it is expecting out of me, so of course that is why I'm here for the interview. But then I'm like कि यार इसकी जगह अगर कोई लड़का रहेगा वो 10 बजे तक रहेगा, वो 11 बजे तक रहेगा, इतना बिजनेस दे सकता है, इतना वो कर सकता है.
And that is really true. That
No,
is-
but I'm
and
just-
so ridiculous it is, you know.
Yeah.
Because I again am insisting that especially I'm saying with my experience in these 3 Spotboy, Mirror, and Midday going downwards. In my descending order of how I have come here, I have seen that the girls are much more efficient. And sorry for saying this, if male are going to be hurt,
That's
they are
okay.
much more efficient. They are more committed. They will not try to wriggle out of a situation, and they are more answerable.
So men need to step up.
Yeah, of course, because there is disparity in every way.
Yes, that's a good one. Disparity is something
Yeah,
that I
there
really
is
want to talk
disparity
about.
in every way.
Vicky, how do you are in a leadership position? There are women, a lot of women reporting into you at SpotboyE.
I think I'm saying it from my experience only.
No, sure. So I'm saying this disparity in incomes. How much of an issue, real world issue, is this? Women have never reported into me, so I don't know what it is to decide.
See,
किसको कितना पैसा
disparity
मिलना
in
चाहिए.
incomes media में तो बिल्कुल नहीं है. I think what I have seen a female or a male, if he is going to be hired here, or the papers I've worked with earlier, or the websites I've written for earlier, I don't think media is one which I think has allowed a large number of women. Allowed is the wrong word, but has opened the doors, and rightly so, to women more.
Right.
Than much more other,
More welcoming, you can say.
more other offices.
And women have had an impact. I mean, I remember when I was my first job at Ogilvy, the talent director was a woman. The India talent director was a woman called Kalpana Rao. The lady who hired me at Ogilvy was a woman. There were a lot of very solid, capable women in serious leadership positions. They were not there ऐसे ही दिखाने के लिए. Women were leading massive campaigns. The person who's hired me at SpotboyE is a woman. The HR head is a woman herself. The HR team is full of women. This podcast has 2 women. So women in my life have had a huge impact as well in my career. But let's talk about the disparity in incomes in the film industry. Do you think filmmakers, while they might say whatever they will say in public on public forums, deep down are they reluctant to pay a Deepika Padukone or an Alia Bhatt the same amount of money as they will pay an Akshay Kumar?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Is there business sense or is it just them being
because the
unbiased?
buzz about many heroines is today that, you know, once they get to that age of 30, 32 and if you see them getting very few films, the reason is they say that utna price unhone kar diya, they are out of bounds. Arey, out of bounds barabar hai, lekin what about the 60 and the 70 crores or the 40 crores which your hero is taking? How is he justifying that?
Yeah.
He is not justifying that because come on yaar, A-listers movies have crashed in the last 2 years.
Yes.
Almost all movies have crashed.
All the
films.
Like
Anytime.
come on, Gold also did not live up to expectations.
Yep.
Whatever the numbers it got or whatever. Yeah, so there have been cases where movies have not done well. So how do you justify that?
But who's going to bring about this change, Vicky? कौन कैसे होगा ये?
See, the change is only going to come about once you get those male-centric films, unfortunately, to flop, incidentally to flop. If they flop, you see, and if there continues to be a Razi or a,
But we've seen a Queen, we've seen an English, we've seen a Razi.
Otherwise, नहीं होने वाला.
We've seen a dirty picture. Vidya Balan single-handedly taking that film to where it went. So it's not that women haven't proved themselves. I mean, they have.
In spite of all this, I still think there's a long way because, like you said, so many women-centric films have arrived and women are doing their best. I mean, look at the Khans. I mean, since the past 2 years, उनके कोई भी movies चल नहीं रहे. It's all about women-centric films. But still, if you compare the income or the, the price that the actors charge, I think it's always going to be about the male actors getting more, unfortunately. So
many actresses have said that.
Yes.
Okay.
Actresses
Yeah.
have
Be it
also-
Anusha Sharma, Katrina Kaif, they have said, like they are.
Even there is a fascination to see even the public हमारी. Why? Okay, let's not only blame the filmmakers or the public को fascination है. अभी एक संजू का ही केस ले लो ना. संजू की पिक्चर को हम देखने के लिए इतने उतावले थे and it was a complete. I mean, come on, it was not some great film.
No.
It had so many questions which we asked in our reviews in our podcast, and we were so excited to see that male-centric film. But you imagine a guy is making a film on Parveen Bobby. Parveen Bobby has also had a very controversial life. Even if Deepika is doing that role, इतना यूफोरिया नहीं होगा जितना संजू पे हुआ था. 350 crore, 200 crore. Why were people going to see that film again and again? So, why had everybody turned up?
Tumhari Sulu, despite being a phenomenal film, headlined by an outstanding actor, perhaps didn't make as much money as some random houseful type film will. Unfortunately, so I think the change has to come from the viewer as well.
Yes.
Change has to come from the viewer because the rooting, the whistling, everything. Okay, even if you see Gully Boy, the rooting and the whistling is only on the Ranveer Singh scenes. But as I said in my earlier podcast, that scenes which don't fade away from your vision are the Alia Bhatt scenes. I'm not being partial here.
Sure.
But though I know that guy is of immense gravitas as an actor, but the scenes which remained with me. But what is going to happen? Nothing.
So maybe it will happen with more films that are driven by women characters. If they make more such films, perhaps the audience will serve.
And the worst part is, we shouldn't be even advocating high fees for women per se. Because the whole budget has to come down. Whether it is in your office, you shouldn't be spending more on any product. Whether it's beyond your reach, even whether it's SpotboyE or whether it is 9X. You have to spend as much as you earn or as much as you have. For example, what these male stars are doing by charging so much, and therefore the female are also trying to get their prices up.
Escalating the cost.
They're escalating the cost and destroying the project. There are so many movies which have flopped in the recent past. They would have made money and they would have run away. That's just because of the hero. वो इतना पैसे लेके गया. Producer says मेरे पास कुछ नहीं बचा बॉस. 70-80% तो वो लेके गया. बड़े बड़े studios के पास कुछ नहीं बच रहा है. So is this fair? I mean.
बट कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ये भी लगता है दिस चेंज जो तुम बोल रहे हो ना, इट हैज़ टू बी लाइक डायरेक्टर्स प्रोड्यूसर्स हु आर लाइक मेरे फिल्म विदाउट हीरो के दैट कोट अनकोट खान्स के बिना नहीं चलेगी. दैट माइंडसेट नीड्स टू बी चेंज. अभी वो चेंज होगा वंस दे विल डाइजेस्ट द फैक्ट.
These excuses come from people who are not in it to make films. They are in it for 100 crore weekend.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Today, if a तुम्हारी सुलू is being made, there is a certain conviction in the product कि ये picture मैं बनाऊंगा और ये ऐसे ही बनाऊंगा. And advertising guy has made that film.
Yeah.
With Vidya Balan, and I was like, this is far greater than anything that Vidya Balan has done in her life. Not because she gave me a great interview before the film, but I was like, boss, there is so much talent in our country. Whether you look at television, you look at web series these days, you see a lot of women doing some unbelievable work. That lady, I forgot her name, in Sacred Games, who played
Kubra Said.
No, not Kubra. The one who played Gaitonde's wife. I forgot her name, unfortunately. I'm really sorry about that. Rashmi, if I remember correctly. What a fabulous performance. I saw Sakshi Tawar in this show called The Final Call on Z5. Outstanding. You know, this lady who played the air hostess in that show. I'm glad that digital as a medium is also opening up itself to a lot of women artists, whether it is actors. Amrita Khanvilkar has done some good music as well, right? So there is so much talent. It's just about the industry
changing the mindset.
Yeah, and just being fair.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about giving them special treatment. You be fair, you treat human beings equally regardless of the gender, and I'm hoping the quality of cinema will also get better, because I personally believe women have a better grip over emotions than men do. Vicky, would you agree?
Yeah, I always agree. Though some women also don't agree. I always agree.
No, but that's true.
It's true.
I do agree with it.
Because the way Gauri Shinde is able to project the conflict in Sridevi's head and heart in English, I don't know if a man would be able to understand that and then project it. So stuff like that. I think Juhi Chaturvedi, Kanika Dhillon perhaps understand their species better than any other man would, and so they're able to tell these stories better. Men are able to understand women better, because in India, unfortunately, evolved conversation haven't happened as much as they should have. So शायद hopefully फिल्मों की वजह से मर्द जो है हिंदुस्तान की औरतों को या दुनिया की औरतों को बेहतर समझ पाएगा, and hopefully women will continue to have a greater impact.
फिल्म में ही नहीं, आई गेस सब जगह दुनिया में ही होना चाहिए, सब जगह होना चाहिए,
क्योंकि फिल्में देश का, दुनिया का, सोसाइटी का आईना है। तो फिल्मों के जरिए हम जो मेन है वो वुमेन को बेहतर समझ पाएंगे. Hopefully that will lead to a more peaceful coexistence between the two species. Any final comments from the three of you? We'll go with Prajakta first.
I think, as you said, films need to influence the viewers, and if more and more films are made around women and more women come up and tell their stories, then I think slowly the viewers will also start taking women more seriously. That's what I feel. So, yeah.
Oshin, final comments?
For me, I would say खान से बाहर निकलो. बाहर बहुत कुछ है.
That's a big one.
बाहर बहुत कुछ है. अगर तुम्हारी सुन लो कि ये नहीं देखोगे कि उसने कितने रुपए कमाए हैं, और सिर्फ ये देखो कि विद्या बालन उसने कितनी अच्छी एक्टिंग की है, तो शायद उसको और भी अच्छी फिल्म्स मिल जाती जो शायद खान जितने अच्छे से पोर्ट्रे नहीं कर पाए थे या कोई और नहीं कर पाया था. जैसे आई वुड से अभी जैसे आयुष्मान आ रहे हैं, राजकुमार राव आ रहा है, ये सब लोग आ रहे हैं. वैसे हमारे राधिका आप्टे की फिल्म है, हमको पता इट्स गोइंग टू बी ग्रेट. So you need to change that mindset. You have to come about it कि हाँ अभी तो खान्स नहीं है, हम लोग को ये भी ट्राई करना.
Don't let gender be a hurdle.
हाँ, just
treat talent for what it is.
Yeah, of course. जैसे विकी सर said कि आलिया भट्टी मेरे विजन से नहीं हटती है, और कल को जब किसी को फॉर एग्जाम्पल आलिया को रोल देना होगा, दे विल नॉट सी कि आलिया की वजह से गली बॉय भी चली थी. आलिया के डायलॉग्स अब तक लोग भी टिकटॉक और एनीथिंग दे आर डूइंग, बट दे विल बी लाइक ओके रणवीर सिंह वाज इन गली बॉय, उसने इतना कमाया है, लेट्स डू दिस. सो दैट माइंडसेट नीड्स टू बी चेंज्ड, एंड ऑफ कोर्स
right. So let's end this with a positive. Now Vicky he knows pretty much everyone in the industry. सबके नंबर उनके फोन में होते हैं speed dial पे. Let's not talk about men that don't treat women well. Let's tell us about one or two men who you think have been fair with women. I'm not saying they need to be unfairly pro women, but people who have been fair to talent regardless of the gender, and men who understand and are fairly empathetic towards the gender and towards good talent. ऐसे कोई
I think Imtiaz is one such. If you see his movies, Highway and even Tamasha.
हाँ.
Tamasha was just not Ranbir Kapoor. It was, Deepika also.
हाँ.
And I think he understands women much better. Even, there was, I remember talking to him after Rockstar and telling him, why did you cast Nargis Fakhri? I told him point blank.
हाँ.
He said, it's okay, yaar, come on.
हाँ.
I think, and he defended her. And so, normally a director would off record tell me some 10 things. That, no, I made a mistake or she was not good. I think the Highway role, or even some movies which we have seen from Shojit Sarkar, like Pikku, and Shojit understands women very well because I've interacted with him and the kind of respect that he has. The other day he stood up for children, not to do reality shows.
Nice. Yeah.
And the person who has an empathy for children will always have an empathy for the woman.
Nice.
And empathy is a wrong word, please don't get me wrong.
No, I get it.
But I'm trying to say that if he sees children in the correct light, he will always see the woman in the correct light.
Yes.
These are two who stand out for me.
Excellent. So finally, we do agree that a lot has happened purely because women were driven enough despite the obstacles and the hurdles they faced in the industry. They've battled this system. They've battled this gender nonsense. Unfortunately, they've had to, but they've come out winners. A lot more needs to be done. Vicky cited Imtiaz Ali and Highway, and I hope that the women bandwagon gets onto the highway, gets into top gear, and ends up making this country and this world a fairer place for people across genders. Thank you so much for listening into the SpotboyE podcast. We'll be back soon with another such topic. Thank you. Bye-bye.